Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to look at halves, and our main objective is to find halves over two-digit numbers, and the main strand is mental multiplication and division. So last week we were looking at finding doubles of a number, and mainly we were focusing on how to find doubles of a number by multiplying, okay, by 2. So this week we are going to look at finding halves of the numbers by division. So I hope you are going to understand the topic, okay? So let's get started. Now, what is half of 12? If you are asked to find 12, okay? For example, we are finding half of a number by partitioning. So half of 12 is, you will first write your number like this. So this is 12. Then you separate the tens from ones. So you can see we've separated the tens from ones. So we have 1 tens, which is 10. Then we have 2 ones. Now when you reach here, we are going to do it a little different from how we were doing by finding the doubles. So this time we are finding halves, which means we are going to divide. So we are going to find half of 10. So what is half of 10? You can find your space and then you divide. 10 divided by 2. So when you're dividing 10 by 2, it means you will draw 2 balls and then you share. You share by counting up to 10. So we are going to share 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then after that, you circle one side of the ball and then you count. How many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which means 10 divided by 2 is 5. Half of 10 is 5, okay? When you're told to divide, it means you're finding half of that number. If you're told to divide by 2, dividing by 2 is finding half of that number. So which means 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then we come again, we find half of 2. So when you're finding half of 2, find side, then you draw 2 balls, 1, 2, and then you share. We are going to share up to 2. 1, 2. Since we're sharing up to 2, we're going to circle one side of the ball and then we count. How many do we have? 1. Which means half of 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Half of 2 is 1. So when we reach here, okay, we are going to add. So 5 plus 1 is 6, okay, which means half of 12 is 6. And that's how you find half of a number by partitioning. But again, there's another formula. You can find half of a number by dividing by 2. Here now, we are not going to partition, but still, we are still dividing. So what is half of 12? You are going to find your space, draw 2 balls, 1, 2. Then you share up to 12. You share. We are sharing. Okay, so let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, then you circle one side of the ball. So after counting, we circle one side of the ball. We circle one side of the ball. Okay, then we will count the sticks that are in one side. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer is 6. Or you can draw 2 big balls like this. 1, 2. Okay, so after drawing 2 big balls, share each. Okay, you share each on each. You share on each circle. On each circle. Okay, so now we are going to share up to 12. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we count on one side of the circle. That's why I've put a tick there to show we're going to count only on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which means half of 12 is 6. Okay, so now let's get to the main content. So now here we have our numbers in tens and our numbers in ones. And I have picked one 10, which is 10, and 6 ones, okay, which is 6. So which means if we have 10 plus 6, what is 10 plus 6? 10 plus 6 makes what? 16. So I'm going to write 16. Okay, so which means 10 plus 6 makes 16. So we have 16 over here. Now that we have 16, we are now going to find half of 16 by partitioning. Okay, finding half of 16 by partitioning, we are going to find half of 10. So let's find half of 10. We are going to find a space on a side, then we draw 2 circles over here. So I have drawn 2 balls. So in these 2 balls, we are going to share each. In these 2 balls, we are going to share each up to 10, okay? Because we are finding half of 10, which means we are going to share each up to 10. Sharing is the same as dividing, okay? And when you're told to divide by 2, you are finding half of a number. So it means you are dividing by 2, okay? So let's count up to 10. So as you can see, we have shared up to 10. So each side we were giving 1, 1, okay? Up to 10, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So after that, we count on one side of the circle, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means half of 10 is 5. So half of, we are going to write here 5. And then we look for a space again. We share on both sides up to 6, okay? Half of 6, which means we are going to divide. It is, you're dividing 6 by 2, means we are going to divide 6 by 2. You're going to divide 6 by 2, okay? I'm just using this to make you understand. We are dividing 6 by 2, okay? So just the same thing we did over here. We divided 10 by 2. And when we were dividing 10 by 2, we drew 2 big balls and then we shared up to 10. Dividing 6 by 2, we are going to draw again 2 big balls and then we share up to 6, okay? So let's draw 2 big balls, then we share up to 6. Let's share, because now we've drawn our 2 big balls, we are now going to share each. We give 1, 1 up to 6, okay? So each we give 1, 1 up to 6. That means that we are sharing. So for us to give 1, 1 each up to 6, we are finding half of 6. So we are finding half of 6 by dividing. Okay, so let's go. 1, we give that side 1, and then we come this side, we say 2 because you're counting up to 6, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see we've shared on both sides. We gave each 1, 1 up to 6. So now after sharing each 1, 1 up to 6, we are now going to count on one circle, okay? So let's count and see what is the answer. We are going to count on one side of the circle. 1, 2, 3. So which means half of 6 is 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we are going to write our answer here as. Now, this is the tricky part. This part, when we reach, we are going to add. Okay? So we are going to add 5 plus 3. So what is 5 plus 3? 5 plus 3. So put 5 in your head, 5 in my head, 3 in my fingers. 5, 6, 7, 8. So which means 5 plus 3 is 8. So we just found half of 16 is 8. Okay? Half of 16 is 8, and that is how you do it. Okay, there is this other formula. If you cannot find half of a number by partitioning, you can still find half of a number by straightly dividing. Okay, you just divide the number straight away. So I have my 10 and the ones. So we are going to find half of 16. This is 16, okay? You are told to find half of 16. So for us to find half of 16, what you do, half of 16, we're finding half of 16. So for us to find half of 16, what we are going to do, we are just going to divide straight away. You draw two big circles, okay? And then you share. Draw two big circles, and then why are we drawing two big circles? Because we are dividing. Because we are dividing. So we are drawing two big circles, then we share up to 6. We are dividing by 2. Okay, good. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then you count on one side of the circle, on this other side of the circle, this one. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So which means half of 16 is 8. Half of 16 is 8. Okay, so that's it.